Hello, everyone, and good afternoon.
There she goes. Hey, Monique. I was just about to
Hello.
ping you back. I let everybody know you was having some connection issues. I do have the pack up, Sharon.
Thank you.
Ready whenever you are.
Sure. Sure. Thank you so much.
Hmm.
Okay, we can get started now, Farad. It's 1 minute after, and we'll just start with you welcoming everybody to 2025 Black History Month Lunch and Learn.
Yes, yes. So again, as Monique said, I want to just say it's good to see a lot of your faces here. It's been a while since I've seen you guys. You know how it goes. Sometimes we get stuck in the work. But again, happy to see you all joining and supporting, and want to welcome everybody to the 2025 Black History Month Lunch and Learn. We have a tight agenda, so we're going to press forward. We have some good speakers. But as always, before we press into the actual program, a part of our culture is we always like to take two. So real quick, just want a quick agenda up here for those who are curious to see how the flow of the program is supposed to run. But I want to get back into our culture. One of the one things that we always like to do is take a few minutes to kind of reflect on our culture. And today we are blessed with Alicia, who will be taking a few moments out and giving her reflection on Take Two on Culture. So Alicia, I would like to invite you to the forum stage and give the mic to you and allow you to do your piece.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. For this Take Two for Culture, I have taken a chapter out of Ajit's 25 Years of Learning. So one of the chapters that caught my eye was the seeds of success are sown long before the fruits are harvested. Um, so for me, this chapter speaks more of the committed farmer, the crop that will sustain a community and enrich their communities, and how you can only really achieve that with patience and hard work. And as the daughter of a farmer, I can tell you that this chapter was completely accurate. And I began to think of my time at the farm as a little girl with just baby calves and baling the hay, running from chickens. Because if you have never had to run from a chicken, I have you even really ever been on a farm, right? So in the Midwest, you often run into coworkers who have also been raised on a farm, or they have family members who are farmers. And I recall a conversation with a coworker who had been retired and then had decided to restart his career with Quest Global. So he was a general manager for our customer and came to us with a lot of knowledge in his field. He grew up on a farm. We began to talk about how much was fun it was to grow up in that kind of environment, to see the animals being born, again, running from those chickens when you're collecting those eggs, and really just how much family time there was there because everyone was working to keep that farm producing. So my coworker joked that when he would interview candidates, he would also ask them if they had ever worked on a farm. And if they said yes, then he hired them on the spot because he knew that they would come with a strong work ethic and the ability to handle those hard tasks. So I took my love of the farm and I brought that to my backyard. And what I did was I created vegetable gardens and flower landscapes and a space where I really felt at home, which for me is outside in the dirt. So the farm taught me hard work, but it also taught me to appreciate those quiet moments, to pray for the rain, and how easy it is to relieve everyday stress just by going out there and pulling some weeds. So I don't run from chickens anymore, but there are some frogs that provide a jump scare when you're not expecting them. Um, but I think, really what I took from this is that if you care for the seeds and you care for the crop and the land and the environment around it, then you can produce a success that will support your community and your family for a lifetime. And at Quest Global, I see those seeds planted all around me. I see an environment where I have been planted and I feel safe to grow. And I hope that the environment that I create also allows others feel safe to grow as well. Um, so I'd like to kind of end that take two with a quote from George Washington Carver, who said, "I love to think of nature as an unlimited broadcasting station, which through God speaks to us every hour, if we only tune in." So with that today, I hope that we are all tuning in and listening to the amazing speakers that we have here today. And I am very honored to be here, and I can't wait to hear um, the event. So thank you.
I don't know. I don't know a better way to kick off a program. Alicia, thank you for sharing that. That was truly inspiring. Wow. Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank
That's all I
you.
can. Yeah. Wow.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank you.
Great job.
All right. Thank you for that. Take two. That's a great way to start it. Moving into it. Up next, I'll pass the mic to Lucy.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. I'm really delighted to be here too. I feel privileged every day to be part of this community. I'm going to discuss, what is Black history? And Black History Month is an annual observance that celebrates the achievements, contributions, and history of African Americans and people of African descent. It takes place every February in the United States, though in other countries like Canada, Germany, and the UK, they also have their own designated months for honoring Black history. During this month, people reflect on the struggles, the resilience, and the accomplishments of Black individuals, as well as the ongoing fight for racial equality. The 2025 Black History Month theme, African Americans and Labor, is a powerful reflection on the pivotal role that the hard work of the African Americans has placed in shaping our country's history. This theme underscores the diverse and significant ways in which labor, whether voluntary or involuntary, skilled or unskilled, has been at the core of the Black American experience. From the architectural labor of enslaved Africans, which was foundational to the economic systems of this country, to the prosperous establishment of Black Wall Street, which was a demonstration of the brilliance and resilient abilities of Black corporate collaboration. This theme highlights how work has been central to both survival and empowerment. This year's theme also touches on how self-help strategies and entrepreneurship in Black communities has provided avenues for economic autonomy and resilience, as embraced by the Kwanzaa principle of Ujamaa, which means collective work and responsibility. By focusing on African Americans and labor, Black History Month in 2025 aims to celebrate and honor these very profound contributions, shedding light on how work, both historically and present day, continues to shape the identity, culture, and economic status for our communities. Let this time of reflection and celebration empower us all towards a bright and successful future as we continue to walk and work together in our NIA, which is the representation for purpose. On that note, I thank everyone for this amazing event, and I look forward to seeing what everybody else has to share with us to enlighten us. Farad, the show goes back to you.
Again, thank you, Lucy, on the incorporation of our Kwanzaa celebration into the purpose of this Black History Month. Very well done. Next, I'm going to pass it back to you, Monique, actually, to do the introduction
Sure,
for our
sure.
guest
And
speaker.
thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Farad. Thank you, Lucy, Alicia. Wonderful messages. Um, this is an honor for me to have invited and be able to introduce Dr. Pamela Kelly Monk, Dr. Pamela Monk Kelly, um, to this great event that we're having here at Quest Global. She's partnered with Quest Global to represent her journey, and it's such a delightful one. And I don't want to ruin the ending of it, but Dr. Kelly has been an educator in the Yale New Haven school system for over 47 years. She's inspired young people through her passion for performing and writing. She also serves as a planning and placement chairperson at Gateway Community College. Dr. Kelly also holds a BS in special educations, a master's in school psychology and counseling, and a doctorate in theology. And she has a very deep love for her family and her family heritage and the history of the Monk family legacy, if you will. Beyond all of that, she's a devoted mother of four, grandmother, great grandmother, believe it or not, because she was so beautiful, and a proud member of Daughters of the Revolution, which granted her access to the genealogy education program, the GEP. And so this is where she discovered a lot of things that were unexpected. But I want everyone to just give a gracious welcome using your emojis and just welcome Dr. Pamela Monk Kelly, and you can unmute yourself. Welcome, Doctor.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for that awesome introduction. I am delighted that you have invited me to tell my story, and I give God all the glory. The purpose of this presentation is to delve into the rich history of the Monk family diaspora as a family-centered dialogue to origin and pride. Briefly, I will cover 3 key events in Black history: the Middle Passage in slavery, the Great Migration, and the Civil Rights Movement.
Next slide is Farad. Okay, thank you.
As far as the Monk family background, I am the middle child of the Olivia and Conley F. Monk, and I was born in New Haven, Connecticut. Beyond my academic and professional pursuits, I thank you, Monique, for pointing out that I am a devoted wife and a mother of 4 children who are high achievers. I am a happy and just delighted grandmother of 4 and a great grandmother. My ancestry has been traced back 8 to 9 generations on both my maternal and paternal sides. According to Ancestry.com, my story originates in Africa. My DNA shows that I primarily have ancestors from Nigeria and links to North and South Carolina African Americans, ranging from 3% to 33%. Over 62% of my DNA is from African regions, but where did the other 38% originate? Inquiring minds want to know. However, my father joined me with this quest of finding our ancestors after the saga by Alex Haley in 1976, and even before the internet in 1983. Next slide. My 2-time great-grandfather, Jack, was given to Harriet Hargrove by her father, Aaron, as an inheritance. Jack would have been brought over to America through the horrible transatlantic slave trade of the Middle Passage. However, Jack and lot number 3 went to Harriet's husband, Archibald Monk, because she was married, and a female did not have certain rights at that time. Dear ancestor, my great-grandfather, Hinton, was born into slavery in 1852. He lived on the coal plantation during the greatest battle in the Civil War, the Battle of Bentonville. During his youth, he worked on the Archibald Monk plantation because his father, Jack, was the oldest slave according to the census records. Hinton and Sarah had 10 children and birthed a nation of greatness, including some notables that you might know as Thelonious Monk, Art Monk. They also are connected to Nat King Cole and so many more, just to name a few. In 1952, my parents, Olivia and Conley Monk, they left the South to find better living conditions in the North. First, my father came to find work. He worked at Grace New Haven Hospital, which is now Yale New Haven Hospital. And later he sent for my mother and the 4 children, and they came to Connecticut on a train. The family has grown to be a multi-generational dynasty. We have leaders in the fields of education, government, music, and the arts. I know many of you have heard of Martin Luther King's dream. In 1963, I Have a Dream. One of the quotes or excerpts from the dream is, I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. Well, I was contacted by one of the slave owners, Archie Ball's descendants, and his name was Matthew Monk. And he asked that he could meet me so we can talk about the Monk family. He introduced himself as Archibald Monk's descendant. The house that you see is the old plantation house, which later it has been restored and preserved. And you see on the right side of the screen, you see my siblings and Archie Ball's descendants, which are Matthew's siblings. So we all met at the taping or the recording of the People magazine photo shoot. And this is also showing that we were at the Newton Grove cemetery, where Archibald gravesite, after 300 years, we are holding each other hands, and you notice that we're around the grave. This was the first time that the white monks found the grave, Archibald's grave, as well as the black monks. So when we came together, we looked around the circle, and one said, well, when I go to a gravesite, we pray, and we all are Christians. So we held hands, and my sister Marcella started singing Amazing Grace, and then Matthew's brother started harmonizing, and it was really serene. It was a nice time we had together, and we learned a lot about each other at that moment. And we had a lot of similarities. A lot of us, we were in education and in professions that help people. So it was healing at Newton Grove that day. So if you see, there's two books here. The first book was written because I lost in 2009. Tragedy hit my home, where I lost a son from the injuries he suffered from a car accident. I needed something to help me cope with his death, so I decided to write a book. And knowing that I had all the information that my father and I had acquired, so I put it into a book and wrote All Roads Lead to Newton Grove. And this book opened up a world of its own. Family literally were coming out of the woodwork. And after that book, that's why I wrote Hello Cousin, because I met so many new cousins. This article goes along with the meeting we had with Matthew Monk. He came, my family, we have a gospel singing group, and we also celebrate every once a year on the third week in July. So we have a family parade. Matthew came from Rhode Island to visit us, to meet us, and the city picked up this article and did a great write-up on our family. He went to church with us and everything. It was just unreal, the way that things just came into play. But we had a good time again in the presence of meeting other people. Once that article was written, well, it picked up a good story from different journalists. and People Magazine contacted us, and they wanted to do a story on us, and they did a story on us. They sent us to back to the plantation where we did a photo shoot, and not knowing that my when I looked to my right and to my left, my siblings, and I had 6 siblings that showed up, were there out of the 8. And then Matthew had about 6 siblings that showed up, and they were all part of this great moment. We were actually out of 250 families, we were selected as the centerfold for that particular book or that article. So I just like to say thank you for this opportunity, for allowing us to speak to you today.
Dr. Pamela, I appreciate you. The words, the story is heartfelt. Um, just absolutely amazing and astonishing. And just as I actually know, and this is a side note, has nothing to do with this program, but Gary Monk is my fraternity brother. That is my frat brother. So I know your
Small
family.
world.
Small
Yes, that's my
world. I seen
brother.
the picture of him, but yes, but again, thank you so much for that. That was amazing, and I definitely will be following, looking at those books. I'm going to pass it now over to Courtney. Some words from Courtney, our head of our DE&I.
Thank you, Farad. And, I am truly just humbled by your story, Dr. Kelly. I think we all are. I'm sitting here listening, and I could have listened to you for the rest of the day. Just such a fascinating story. And there's so many things that struck me, in your journey, your family's journey, that I thought I would highlight. As Alicia mentioned at the opening, we have this series of lessons that we've learned through the years that we believe will carry us into the future, the next 100 years and beyond as a company. And Alicia mentioned one of them in the beginning. There's another one that came to mind for me as well, just hearing your remarks, Dr. Kelly, and that's that, ordinary people can do extraordinary things. And by no means are you an ordinary person, or is your family or your background, is there anything that's ordinary about it? But I think what's so extraordinary about your journey and your walk is the power of humility, the power of extending grace to each other, the power of listening, to different perspectives and allowing for that healing and that reconciliation. There are just so many things that I took away. And there's a few things that really resonated for me rather, just on a personal level. Your background being, a doctor of education, is very similar to my mom's background and her, her long career as an educator. So that really struck a personal chord for me. Your family's ancestry and tracing it back over generations has really sparked something in me. I know a little bit about my background. I know our origins are through the Caribbean, the West Indian Islands, but your story just really struck a chord with me and wanting to learn and discover more about my own background. So on behalf of the entire Quest Global family, I'd like to extend my gratitude, our gratitude to you. I would also like to extend my gratitude and just my thanks to Monique, Farad, Alicia, Lucy, countless others who put together another fascinating, outstanding program this year in honor and in recognition of Black History Month. I'll pause and I'll leave my remarks there. There's so much more that can be said. I think you really opened the minds of so many of us on today's call, but I'll stop there and I'll pass it back to Monique. But again, my gratitude on behalf of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. So we are having a Book Expo virtual raffle. So just to let you know, for this Black History Month, what we're doing is everybody that's called into this event is going to get a virtual raffle ticket number. And tomorrow we're going to pick a winner, and we will be the prize, the raffle prize is All Roads Lead to Newton Grove. And so by Dr. Pam Kelly. So just to let you know that you will be entered into the raffle automatically if you've called in. And we are also having a live raffle on next Tuesday on the 24th in the Windsor, Connecticut campus. And so I wanted to just to let you know there's an extra special treat for calling into the event today. I want to thank everyone. Next slide, Rod. I just want to thank everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank the audience for calling in. I know it's lunchtime. Most of you probably have your cameras off because you're eating lunch. But I just want to thank you because you took time out of your day, your schedule to join us on this, this very impactful and important event. I want to thank everyone that contributed to this. Dr. Kelly, thank you for giving us your time and your story and your testimony. We really do appreciate it. It was lovely. It kind of just made my day. And also, I'd like to thank the CNI Belonging Calendar team that's noted there. Also, the cultural ambassadors that were a part of today's event and marketing for everything that they do for us to make sure that the messages and the beautiful messages get out to the internet, to all of the Quest Global employees. So I want to just close it. We're closing at 2 minutes. So we're giving you back 2 minutes, folks. We actually did it. We had a lot to cover and we covered it and we had time left over. So I want to thank you very much. And yeah, just enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.